We have here a fully customized, brand new 2024 Specialized ALLEZ Sprint in a size 52, weighing at 15 pounds, 13 ounces, and in kilos, 7.18 kgs. That is with bottle cages, power meters, 2 pedals, and also your out front garment mount. Stay tuned to after video. We are free of buy sound test on those number 6 wheels right there. How's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys the ultimate crit bike. I recently did a video on the stock build of this Specialized ALLEZ Sprint. This is the limited edition color that I showcased before, and it was a completely stock build with the stock DT Swiss wheels, 105 Di2, stock alloy handlebar, and that bicycle came in without pedals and without cages and everything bone stock, pretty much at 18 pounds, 15 ounces. And that was in my previous video. I'll put a link to it down below. The customer had a vision of what he wanted his bike to be. This is going to be his crit bike to start his journey off on there. And he pretty much decked this thing out to the T, and we were able to shave off 3 pounds off the total weight of a bike, which is unheard of. I mean, obviously there is a crazy amount of nice tech on here, which will go over everything, but they upgraded a ton of stuff on this bicycle, and 3 pounds off any kind of bike is massive. Obviously it comes with spending a little bit of dollars, but the final outcome of this bike build is gorgeous. I think he did a phenomenal job. We converted from a 2x to a 1x. We went from 105 to Dura-Ace Di2. We went to alloy wheels to carbon fiber wheels, a one-piece bar and stem cockpit, everything on there to go ahead and save weights for this journey of a crit bike. But without further ado, let's go ahead and break down everything on this build and talk about what the customer chose to do. So starting off with the cockpit on here, we went away from the stock standard Specialized handlebar, stem, and also bar, and they went with a custom one-piece bar and stem EXS. This is a 110 by 36 on here, and the EXS bar, as you guys know, it's the EXS Aero Over. It's the same exact bar I run on my Tarmac SL8, but they make a phenomenal one-piece bar and stem. We got 3D printed spacers made from, I believe, Panda Podium to go ahead and fit this bike or this bar onto this bicycle. And if you guys know anything about the ALLEZ Sprint, they are a very similar build to an SL7, but it was kind of hard to find the 3D printed spacer for this bike build, but everything came out beautiful. So they did a phenomenal job. The customer also opted in for the extra titanium mount for the out front for his Wahoo, but the whole build on there is gorgeous. We went with a white bar tape on there, again, for the kind of pro look with the crit race on there. So this is the zip service course tape for the handlebar. For the shifters, like I mentioned before, this is the Dura-Ace Di2, 12 gears in the rear, and then we have just a 1x on there, but you can't go wrong with Dura-Ace at all. It's a phenomenal group set. It's a flagship group set. There's a reason why so many tour teams are still running Shimano. It's just because of the fact that it plain and simple works, and it has a lot of great features on there for sure. Also, lighter than the 105 option. The limited edition ALLEZ Sprint, like I said, it's obviously because of this custom paint color scheme and the 105 group set that came on there. But if you look at it, it's kind of like this tealish purple with a beautiful scheme going through. Bright bits of Specialized on the down tube, on the fork, and on the rear stay to kind of give you that pro look as well. And then you have the big, bright Specialized badge right there in the front as well. For the wheel set on there, these are one of the most, I think these are getting really popular for crit racing wheels. I've had them on my channel a ton of times. NorCal, who actually races in criterium races, he chose these wheels for his crit race. And the reason for it is this really wide internal rim width, which we'll talk about in just a second. But these are the number 6 carbon fiber rims, 45 in the front, 50 in the rear. And like I mentioned before, the reason why these are so popular for this is, one, the weight. The weight system on these wheels together is 1,260 grams for front and rear. So that's a very lightweight wheel set, and it's a mid-depth wheel set that's great for going around cornerings, going at fast speeds, going around a corner, and then having to go ahead and sprint back up to where the speed is. Secondly, it's not a very deep dish wheel either, so that way you don't have this crazy inertia to get back up to speed, which is always nice. We went with the white logos on there to kind of go ahead and pop with the Specialized logo. They have carbon fiber spokes for added stiffness, their own number 6 hub with ceramic bearings in there, but the internals on this rim is what sells it. This is a 28 millimeter internal rim width with an external of, like, I believe a 31 on there. And as you guys can see, this is a 28C tire in a Grand Prix 5000 with a TPU tube in there, but this thing stretches out to pretty much a 32C tire on there. So you're getting much more tire on the ground that's going to make you have more confidence and more comfort going into corners and be able to go into it at faster speeds if you have the trust with your bicycle. So it's giving you a little bit more comfort and trust into that bicycle. For the rotors on here, we went with these Shimano Dura-Ace. That's what you're going to get when you get the full kit on there, but obviously we did these Shimano Dura-Ace on there to go ahead and lighten up the bike. The through axles, we took off the pre-existing Tarmac SL7 through axles, and we went with the brand new Tarmac SL8, again to save some weight coming from an alloy bike. If you guys did not know, the ALLEZ Sprint bicycle is aluminum with a carbon fiber fork, but it is exact same geometry as a Tarmac SL7. For the disc brakes on here, for the calipers, it is a Shimano Dura-Ace, but we changed some of the bolts to frames and gear titanium. From the brake pad pin right here, this is a frames and gear bolt, to the actual bolts themselves, these are T25 frames and gears in gold. This is just ways to go ahead and save a little bit extra weight savings on here for sure. For the bottle cages, we have specialized Tarmac cages 1 and 2. And then for the crank on here, it's going to be a Dura-Ace 165mm Stages crank arm, dual-sided power meter, and then we have again the frames and gear titanium bolts for the pinch bolts, and also the preload nut as well in the titanium option, which is really, really cool. For the pedals, it is a Look keel blade and a 12 tension on here with a ceramic spindle, but very, very nice. And then for the bottom bracket, a ceramic bottom bracket BSA threaded for the system itself. Going to this side for the crank and the chainring that draws in a ton of attention. This is the Digirit chainring in the marble configuration in a 1x. This chainring is a full solid carbon fiber chainring. We got the bolts that match the Dura-Ace on there in the Past Quest. That's another company that makes the kind of matchmaker pieces for the bolts on there. I believe the chainring on here is a 52 tooth. I'm sorry, is a 54 tooth, again for Florida crits because I think it's massive. So we have a 54 tooth in the front and an 1130 in the rear, and this is just gonna be a crit bike pretty much. I mean, obviously he's gonna do some fun leisure rides on there, but this bicycle is meant for speed, and also it's gonna be flat in Florida, so we got a lot of continuous speed on there. So it's a great looking setup with that 1x setup. We have the little frame blocker for the front derailleur as well, that little kind of plug right there, which is nice. And then going to the back here, we have the Dura-Ace rear derailleur along with the ceramic speed and the Alpha OSPW, which really gives it kind of that mean look and ties in this whole drivetrain all together. It's a beautiful looking setup. Dura-Ace XTR chain and an 1130 Dura-Ace cassette. And then same in the back here, we have a frames and gear direct mount hanger to go ahead and line up the chain a little bit better with the cassette, and then also make it easier to remove the rear wheel. Also, the rear wheel is a 50mm depth rear wheel, and it has carbon fiber spokes along with a, I believe, a 36 tooth ratchet. Sorry about that, a car passed by. A 50mm depth rim, and then I believe a 36 tooth ratchet. And then the internals on the rear are a little bit less wide because obviously that's where majority of your weight is. So it's a 24mm internal rim width with a 30mm external rim width, again paired with a Continental GP5000 tire and a 28C configuration. And this bicycle can take up to a 32C configuration as well on there, which is really, really nice. The customer also opted in for a 140 rear rotor and the SL8 through axles. Sorry, another car. Another 140 rear Dura-Ace rotor, and then the SL8 through axle. And then for the last piece, the customer opted in for an SL7 carbon fiber zero offset post paired along with the Burke saddle. Stupid lightweight, but extremely comfortable saddle. I have this on my Sika bike. Full carbon fiber saddle, carbon fiber rail, carbon fiber body with a nice little leather texture on top of there. These things, I believe, come in like 97 grams for these saddles, which they make really, really nice ones. So, but in the end of everything, it came out to this beautiful machine. If you crit race it, if you ride it, if you do whatever you want with it, it's a great, great bicycle. This is the 2024 Specialized ALLEZ Sprint custom frame build-up, 1x12 with a bunch of custom parts in there. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Stay tuned to after video where you get a free buy sound test on these wheels, and I'll put a link down below to the owner of this bicycle on his Instagram as well. Thank you, guys. All right, here comes the free buy sound test on these number 6 wheels. Here we go. Very nice. All right. right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.